The Pulse of Spokane is a broad show that showcases many different things in our community, sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.
Hi there, and welcome to the
Hi,
Pulse of Spokane. My name is Emma Ulring, and I am lucky enough to be chatting with Collin Neal. How are you today, Collin?
doing great. How about yourself?
I'm great. So, your official title is Creative Director at Ignitium.
Yes, ma'am.
And from my understanding, that is an account-based marketing agency. But
You
how
got
about
it.
you actually really say what that means? That's kind of a lot of big words. What do you truly do?
Yeah, so I create video content or do consulting for marketing companies that are looking to expand into, LinkedIn marketing, Facebook, Google Ads, all things like that. And I have a few main clients right now. One of them is a Christian homeschool. And so I built out a little studio space here in Spokane because they're based here called Ignitium Academy. And they kind of let me do a little bit of a free reign for the last 2.5 years because they were the first main client I had. And ever since then, there's like 40 teachers. And I mean, they're doing really good right now due to the situation because it's
Yeah,
homeschooling.
truly.
Um, but we just finished an update to the studio too. So it was kind of sad that we only got to like experience a little photography and
Oh,
video work
darn.
in there. And then we had to, hit the road. But it was a lot of fun to work with them.
Cool.
And then we've got a metal manufacturing company that I worked for recently called Pyrotech that was local. And so they got to give me footage and I got to create little 30-second or 15-second spots with visual effects and things like that. A lot of industrial style spots for account
Got it.
marketing where it's one marketeer to another marketeer and trying to get more business flowing and spread it out there. But so far,
So
it's
I'm curious, what are the full services that Ignitium offers? Because I know obviously you're on the design creative side of it. Can you explain a little bit further as to kind of what potential clients could be searching for in you guys, like what you guys could provide?
yeah, account-based marketing services, meaning that we help target certain markets for marketeers or do consulting to help them build up their presence online. Specifically,
Okay.
LinkedIn is like one of the biggest ones, but there's all different types of tools that sometimes clients we can approach with, or we do a marketing ad towards them on LinkedIn, which I think is one of my favorite things when they come to me and say, "Hey, Q, whip up this quick video." They have one, it's 15 minutes long, throw it into 30 seconds, put some music on it, some effects, and we're going to throw it into LinkedIn. And I never knew that that was a thing to get a client to do like a specific targeted ad till 2.5 years ago. And
Yeah,
that's kind of one of the things that we do sometimes to be like, hey, here's a ping, not as an annoyance, but literally like very professionally done and specifically targeted towards them. So, their name, their company, their position, whatever is available online to show that they need some help in certain areas. And we've got a ton of people on staff that are extremely talented at doing the pitch and doing the fishing line in
hmm,
there. And for me, it's just nice to be able to get included in the process for creating a video really quick and spinning it out and throwing it out
yeah.
there. I will
So
say,
has
oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead. No, go ahead. You will say.
I was just gonna plug something. I'm not getting paid for it or commercial, support or anything like that. But for anybody like making video content or anything like this, a site called Motion Array is
Motion array.
outstanding. It's constantly updating with any type of visual effects, Premiere, Adobe files, anything you can imagine, sound effects, royalty-free
Hmm.
footage, everything, the whole gamut, and it's all user updated. So every month they get like 20,000 new assets and it's $30 a
Oh,
month. And
amazing.
it's unlimited use, unlimited clients, unlimited touch ups, as long as you still have the subscription. This is why I tell people here's the forewarning: don't miss your
Yeah.
$29 payment because you'll get in trouble for using the content. But once you publish it,
What an amazing
it
resource, though.
but I try to tell people all the time because it came out back in November when it started being pretty big advertised on Facebook. And it was one of those things where I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. And it has since completed, I think, like 20 projects for me, where I can literally just
Oh my
go
gosh.
grab asset files from music, Adobe Premiere, and then I can upload, and I don't have to worry about YouTube or Vimeo or something pinging me and saying,
Yeah.
you have a copyright strike. It's already provided for you. It's already, proven to go out there royalty free. So I like
Oh,
to
that's great.
plug
Great
that,
help.
something I found, and it has saved me so much time.
Oh, how cool. What I'm curious of is how long have you been involved, with video and photo? Has this been kind of a lifelong passion of yours that you've now obviously made profit and your job out of? Like, where did this all come from?
It started in 2002. I took an
Okay.
elective called Video Multimedia, number 220, in the old like yellow page books that we had at U High in the Valley here in Spokane. For those of you listening outside of
Uh-huh.
Spokane, and Steve Lalonde was my teacher. He's still a mentor. He's a great guy, and he developed a video program out of nothing. And so it was like Final Cut Pro 1, Photoshop 1, all the programs that crashed and burned constantly. And the largest hard drive, I like to tell people, because it's so just funny, thinking in the long run, was
Yeah.
500 gigabytes shared between 25 students per class. And so
Oh
like
my
everything
gosh.
depended on that. But that's kind of when
How
it
times have
started.
changed.
I didn't really grow up shooting 8 millimeter, or having
Hmm.
that dream of doing it. I wanted to be a paleontologist because of Jurassic Park. That was kind of
Oh my
my
gosh.
dream. That was it. So I had a love of movies, but Jurassic Park, I still am obsessed with it since I was a kid. But
That's
paleontology was like,
amazing.
that's where I thought the route was going right before 2002. I studied every dinosaur, went to museums, did everything that I could. Just was like, all
Wow.
right, this is going to work. And then
Yep.
all of a sudden, like, oh, I can make movies about this, and it's not as stressful and it's not
Yeah,
as
there's a total
chaotic.
shift. Yeah.
And
I'm
I've
also
been,
curious, you've
yeah.
mentioned that you and your wife now have your own little production agency, Faith versus Fate.
Hmm.
So you've obviously found someone in your life that shared this kind of love for video. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about how that all started with the production company and what you offer
Sure.
through that?
Sure. Yeah, my wife and I met on a music video shoot in 2008. I was the assistant director, and she was a redheaded lead actress that was a badass. She literally was
Yeah.
full confidence I'd never seen before. We put out a casting call for a blonde shell, like to do a Rocky Raccoon country music video based on the Beatles song. And she was the only
Wow.
person not blonde to submit. And the director said, "Well, let's give her a shot. We'll see how it goes." And I thought for sure there's no way it will work. And I wasn't used to somebody pushing so hard trying to get a role. And then on set,
Mhm.
we hit it off really good. And then I realized that she grew up around film and media, with her mom being a production manager in LA and costumer and transpo,
Oh,
so
cool.
ran union vehicles and stuff. And in Vegas, my wife grew up around Vegas showgirls, so it was she had this
Wow.
huge, amazing life, and I was like, wow, I had nothing going to video other than going to a video store on my little mountain bike back in the day.
Yeah.
That was
So
my
then how did
connection to
you
film.
combine to create this production company? What does that look
Um,
like? What have you two done with that?
So we decided to create the name in 2008, right after we met. She gave me some inspiration, and faith versus fate just means having faith in others and yourself beyond thinking you're destined for one fate. So meaning that you don't
Mm,
feel like you're going to fail all the time, and you try to build others up in the same way. Not necessarily a religious connection, it's just a spiritual style that I lived with, my wife did as well, and we were like, wow, this really is something we should encourage people to do, because in the artistic world, people are extremely negative, especially when you have critics.
mm.
And so we try to always
Well, yeah,
build
that's
somebody up.
everyone's watching.
Yeah, and that's kind of why on my website I do a lot of consultant work more of the time, because people are so down. They've already been beat down by the time they come to me. And even if I'm not getting paid or something, I'd rather help somebody else out and say, hey, this is what I
Mhm.
learned. Teach me about how you grew up, and I'll connect how that will work with you to make your film. Instead of me telling you, hey, this is what I did and it's perfect, I'm going to learn about
Mhm.
you and go from there, and, just encourage you to go beyond what you think that you can do. And nine times out
Yeah.
of 10, people make incredible content. So,
Amazing.
but
What
that's
is
when
that
we started it.
website?
So.
I know we're showing some of your stuff right now, but can you tell the audience the website to find all of your work?
Yeah, it's collinjosephneal.com. Or you can go to youtube.com/Collin Joseph Neal. And then on Facebook, our production company is facebook.com/Faith versus Fate Productions. And we're going to be
Amazing.
doing a little revamp here soon too to update stuff and add new video content because it's been a couple of years and you always got to switch it around and add the new stuff we've been working on the last few years. So, but
Yeah, great.
mhm.
I do have a question to kind of wrap it up. What is it like, having this profession in Spokane? Do you find that, I know, because I think you mentioned something about Seattle with Faith versus
Yeah,
Fate.
yeah, that's where we started it, and in Seattle, we had our best year in 2015, where we made like 20 plus projects, and everything was paid, and it was amazing. And then 2016 hit, and a lot of the contracts for Microsoft and Amazon and everything changed to be short form contracts. And so you think it's
Mm,
bad now. Back in 2016, I remember over 20 plus of my colleagues that were couples or had friends or had been building up their company for years, immediately went broke and had to move. And that was kind of a
mm,
situation we got put in as well. And we put all of our
got
cards
it.
in one spot, and we tried to make a second feature by funding it on Kickstarter. And for the first time ever, we got to experience, learning from a failure after we got every location, every cast and crew member, everything was locked down that most people don't do ahead of time. And we were
Hmm.
trying to go for $1 million. We thought, all right, this is what we need to pay people union wages to survive for 3 months, every single thing paid for at the bare minimum. And unfortunately, it was just, at the time, it just wasn't right. And it was a steampunk Western. And we had just got through making a steampunk couple films. One was Mad Max style, one was more Sherlock Holmes. And so we said, man,
That's
this
so
is a
interesting.
fun environment in science fiction. By the way, one of those
Hmm.
is Brass, the Lair of the Red Widow, and the other one is Wasteland Legends. And I really encourage people to watch them because they're super short. But the things that we got in those films, like real Mad Max cars off-roading here in Eastern Washington, was awesome and such an
Amazing
experience.
work.
Yeah, and then on the steampunk one, we shot at the Georgetown Steam Plant in Seattle, and in the script that a producer wrote and came to me to produce and direct, he had said we have a water room where some people drowned and fall through like an escape latch, and so it's implied that there's a latch pulled and somebody falls and they land in a water tank type room. And I said, hey, how about I look up a Houdini water tank? Let me look this up and see if I can find one. And sure
Oh,
enough, in
cool.
Vancouver, BC, I found one in Canada, and these people build them out, and that's what they do for a living. And so they drove down
Amazing.
in exchange to have her featured in the film as the gal who drowns, and she's an escape artist. And so we brought this gigantic Houdini water tank into the Georgetown steam plant and did a full like escape trap, drop down, chains, everything, all
Oh
because
my
I said,
gosh.
"Hey, let me reach out," and that's still a really good friendship and relationship. And I love anything to do with magicians on screen, so that's been fun.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's
that's
amazing how many connections this job allows you to also make and relationships, and
yeah,
regardless of where you may be shooting, you're
yeah,
seeking those networks wherever you are. So
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
great,
and yeah. I was gonna say sorry to not like point out the Spokane thing. I get a little off track because
that's
I get
okay.
excited. But
No,
Spokane
it's
has been
great.
a blessing because both sides of our family just happen to be here, and I grew up most of my life here. And I got lucky with the Ignitium position with the company 2.5 years
Hmm.
ago, and I've kept it because the colleagues and my boss encouraged me to keep working and making things outside the company. You're not
Yeah.
restricted, and it's the first
Amazing.
corporate style job that I've ever had like that, and where family comes first as well. So especially during this
Hmm.
time, he said, "Everybody, take your computers home, take your work home. I'm going to keep you guys afloat," because we lost a lot of clients during the crisis because everybody filed for
Hmm.
force majeure out of contract because it's act of God, a horrible situation that everybody's in.
Yeah.
And he
I
said,
know
well,
we're all
we're
in a
lucky
sticky
enough.
place.
Yeah, so he's been a blessing to keep us afloat and everybody to have a job and work our butts off through this. And
Well,
besides that, the
great.
Spokane community is awesome. So
Amazing. And we appreciate the work you're doing and how creative and interesting. It's been really great to talk to you. I hope that you and your family are staying safe.
thank
And
you.
I can't wait to see the work that you produce in these next months when things are back to normal.
I appreciate that. We're going to try
Thank
hard, and
you
I
for your
really
time, Colin.
thank you.
We believe every person is created in the image of God with immeasurable beauty and worth, that people should not be defined by their present condition or past mistakes. We are all broken. We need each other. Healing for our brokenness begins with connection, with understanding how much we are loved by a good God. And with healing comes change, the potential for joy and meaning. No one was created for mere survival on the streets, for an existence blurred by mind-numbing substances. Each person is created with a purpose, a unique gift no one else can offer the world. Our job is to help them rediscover it. Real people, real change. Union Gospel Mission.
Welcome to Apex Plaza, Spokane's one-stop cannabis destination. Apex Cannabis features thousands of economy, value, and luxury cannabis products. Cannagear features hemp-based CBD products, glass, goods, and gear. Stop by 1325 North Division to experience the Apex difference.
This product has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. There may be health risk associated with the consumption of this product. For use only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children.
The economy is getting stronger, banks are lending again, and interest rates are at historic lows. Now is a great time to buy your dream home. The caring and knowledgeable professionals at Homes for You have been helping people just like you for over 20 years. They take the time to listen to what you want and will help you find just the right home in Washington or Idaho. Real estate is what we do at Homes for You, 928-5782, or visit online at homes4uspokane.com.
Hi, this is Kurt Stockwell with Well Dressed Walrus. We are a local website design and development company here in Spokane. What we do is build beautiful, usable websites for local businesses. A website needs to be beautiful, it needs to be usable for your users, your customers, and yourself. Contact us anytime. We'd love to talk with you about your online marketing.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.